CrossroadsToday.com, a critical assistance program suspension is impacting local food resources. What does this mean for the community? And the Senate votes on a measure, what it means for the shutdown. Plus, families of Camp Mystic victims seek restitution, what they're saying about the camp.
And I'm feeling pretty confident that you've noticed how cold it was this morning. And if you're not a fan, don't you worry, because the rest of this week we're going to be heating up, and we also have rain chances coming this weekend. All that weather coming up.
And industrial volleyball looks to knock off the Stockdale Brahmas later tonight at Yoakum High School. We'll look ahead to this matchup later on in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and welcome to your Tuesday, your Veterans Day Tuesday.
Veterans Day Tuesday.
We're thinking of those who have served our country.
Yes.
And Parker and I will be at the parade today.
That's right, we will, and thankfully we get to come in a vehicle because it is going to be quite chilly out there this morning. And if you don't believe me, hey y'all, don't believe me, step your foot out the door for just a second because it is kind of chilly out there right now. We're starting out the day 35 degrees, and that's out in Victoria County. Temperatures within city limits are running about 2 to 3 degrees warmer than that. You can actually see that right here on our 25 News Now ticker. Right here it says 37 degrees being reported right outside the station on our thermometer right here in Navarro. So I think that's still safe to say it's pretty chilly out there. And if that's not enough, we have a light wind out there that just started picking up recently between it's around 5 miles an hour, but it's bringing us wind chills below freezing. 31 degrees of what it feels like out there right now, y'all. So bundle up, why don't you? You can see everyone out there starting at the day, mid, even some in the upper 30s. But folks on the coast, we're talking about you, Port Lavaca and Seadrift. Y'all are a bit warmer because you're right next to the warm Gulf water. But the rest of Texas is following suit. We got lots of 30s and 40s all across the state. And if that's not cold enough, ooh, look at the northeastern states. We're talking about New York, Ohio. They're in the 20s and 30s over there, where they are in the middle of the polar vortex. Thankfully not us. So if you're sitting your kiddos at the door this morning, that just means pack them a jacket. They'll take it off in the afternoon because we'll warm up, and we'll have all those details next.
The suspension of SNAP benefits have led to an increase in demand at the local food bank. The food bank of the Golden Crescent president and CEO Robin Cadle says there is about a 25% rise in demand since the SNAP program closed. The food bank serves 11 counties in the Crossroads. Nationwide, some SNAP recipients received their full benefits this month, while others only received a fraction of their usual allotment. District 30 State Representative A.J. Louderback is speaking out on food insecurity. Representing DeWitt, Goliad, Jackson, Matagorda, and Victoria counties, Louderback has some encouraging news about recent cuts to SNAP benefits. News that could help families struggling to put food on the table.
Well, I think with the government, federal government is well on their way to reopening. Now, I think SNAP benefits will be restored here in pretty short order. But there are places in the Crossroads clearly that will take care of the nutritional demands of the area. So there are solutions that are at hand right now, my staff, we're more than happy to help them try to find.
Representative Louderback has an office in Victoria located inside the Heritage Mark building at Salem and Navarro. Residents can call or stop by for help locating food resources. A Bloomington business owner isn't satisfied with the recent sales tax item that passed in the November election. He says his biggest concerns are about leadership being transparent, how much money the city will receive, and whether or not residents will vote on a hotel tax to try and bring in even more money.
I feel as a business owner, it's not enough. It's just not enough. Yes, it's great that it did pass, but we just need more. We voted for this. We voted for the incorporation. We voted to have sales tax. Now it's time for us to get off our duffs and get something moving here for our community.
The 1.5% sales tax approved last week will go to the city general fund to support projects such as street maintenance. An Arctic blast could bring inches of snow and potentially record-setting cold to parts of the eastern U.S. today. Meteorologists say areas as far south as Florida could reach historic lows before the polar plunge is done. Forecasters predict snow near Lake Erie today. Some Midwesterners are still digging out after double-digit accumulations in certain areas yesterday. Camp Mystic is facing multiple lawsuits filed by families who lost their daughters in the flooding. ABC's Victor Oquendo reports as families claim the camp prioritized profit over safety, leading to the deaths.
This morning, the families of children and counselors who died in the historic July 4th flooding at Camp Mystic in Texas are suing the camp and its owners for negligence. 25 young girls and 2 teen counselors were killed when the Guadalupe River rose more than 20 feet in less than 2 hours. Now the families of 5 of the girls and 2 of the counselors insist the tragedy was avoidable.
Camp is supposed to be a safe place.
In one of 3 lawsuits filed yesterday, the families say the girls died because a for-profit camp put profit over safety. The lawsuit accuses Camp Mystic of housing the girls in flood-prone cabins to avoid the cost of relocating them and of failing to create or practice an evacuation plan. It claims that even after a flash flood warning, the staff spent time moving equipment instead of children.
Seal's life ended not because of an unavoidable act of nature, but because of preventable failures.
A lawyer for the camp said keeping the girls in their cabins was the right thing to do.
Do not take 9-year-old girls who weigh 63 pounds on average into raging floodwaters. They're going to get washed away.
In a new statement, a camp lawyer calls the flood unprecedented, saying no adequate warning systems existed. The camp saying it empathizes with the families, but disagrees with several accusations. Each lawsuit is seeking more than $1 million in damages. State lawmakers have already passed new rules on camp safety, including emergency planning. Victor Oquendo, ABC News, New York.
Victoria County's criminal district attorney is running for re-election. Constance Philly Johnson, the first woman to hold the DA's office, filed her paperwork Monday for the 2026 race. She has served since 2019 and has a long history in Victoria, from 20 years practicing criminal law to time spent as a local educator and municipal judge. Johnson says she chose this day to announce her run and honor her father, former DA George Philly, on his birthday, keeping a family tradition alive while looking ahead to the next term. A special report of ABC's 2020 will feature and celebrate 40 years of the Golden Girls. With interviews from the series creator, director, and executive producers, viewers will get a behind-the-scenes look at never-before-seen footage. The Golden Girls has captivated generations, tackling groundbreaking topics and redefining aging. The special, The Golden Girls 40 Years of Laughter and Friendship, airs tonight. And for more local news, content, and weather and sports, come to our website, crossroadstoday.com. It's now 6:37 on our Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now. Sunrise. A well-known feature in downtown Victoria is disappearing, but why now? What's behind the push to clear the streets?
The longest government shutdown in history may finally be coming to an end. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the details and why the chaos at airports may still continue. What's next for millions of Americans?
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say today is going to be actually a pretty nice day all across Texas. So coming up next, I'll tell you just how nice it'll be near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Veterans Day Tuesday. For your Tuesday, we're looking for actually quite a nice day, so I hope y'all get out there and enjoy that. That'll happen underneath our beaming Texas sunshine, which you can see right here. I'm just going to keep pressing play on the future tracker, and you're going to see lots and lots of sunshine out there, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 passing clouds trying to form out there sometime mid-afternoon and late afternoon. Otherwise, we're going to be pretty beaming sunny out there, so make sure you've got your sunglasses packed, I'm thinking, for today. Now, going into overnight tonight, you can see this is midnight. We'll have a few passing clouds trying to form out there. Otherwise, we'll still be mostly clear. I'm thinking cloud coverage will be about 20%. Otherwise, we'll continue that 20% cloud cover all the way through tomorrow, Wednesday. Your weather Wednesday will be mostly sunny out there, but with a little bit more cloud cover, as you can see right there, than today, because today we're going to be real sunny with hardly any clouds in the sky. So like I said, grab the sunglasses. It'll heat us up to about 75 in Victoria, I'm thinking, and that's actually right in the money where we're supposed to be this time of year. Climatological average is 75 on your November 11th. Low temperatures tonight under the clear, mostly clear skies. I'm thinking 54 in Victoria. That too is pretty much right in the money where we're supposed to be. But our record low, this is going to be for this morning, not tonight. Record low this morning is 32 degrees. And like I said earlier, we got down to 33 degrees at one point. So 1 degree away. But if you're not a fan of the cold, you can see we'll heat up nicely. Highs getting to the mid and upper 70s in our western counties, and lows tonight dropping down to the low and mid 50s. And if that's still too cool for y'all, don't you worry, because the rest of this week we're still warming up back into the 80s actually. And then rain chances get here this weekend, and we'll look at that next.
Later tonight, the Industrial Lady Cobras face last year's 3 Division II state champions in the Stockdale Braves, and the Cobras are feeling confident after beating Gertrudes Academy last week, and they're going to look for Carly Stanish and Kaylee Yonk there to provide that offense and defensive sparks for the Cobras. So yesterday, we caught up with the Industrial head coach Tara Dunn and players Madison Kepka and Erilyn Bethany about what kind of their mechanics they're working on and their mindset heading into tonight's clash.
We just have to know that the hard work that we've put in the off-season, preseason, district, all of that, it's prepared us for now. I talked to them a lot about understanding that, like, we deserve it too.
Today we're definitely working on spots that we're going to implement, and me, especially being an undersized middle, sometimes I have trouble with those 6-foot middles I go up against, so it's very important for me to work on those spots to hit. For this game, I'm mainly focusing on preparing mentally. I'm trying to have the mindset of we're going to go in there, we're going to kill it, and we're going to dominate every single ball.
And the Cobras hope they can end Stockdale's chances of going back-to-back champions out there in 3 Division II because they won it last year. So again, Industrial trying to get to the state semifinals. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
After 42 days, the longest government shutdown in history may soon come to an end with the Senate voting to pass a bill. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with an update on what happens next.
This morning, an end to the government shutdown possibly in sight.
The bill as amended is passed.
A handful of Democrats joining Republicans in the Senate to reopen the government. The bill now heading to the House later this week. However, most Democrats and their allies are slamming the deal because it does not include the key demand from Democrats to extend Obamacare subsidies and keep insurance premiums from skyrocketing. Instead, Republicans only promising a future vote on health care sometime next month.
The American people have now awoken to Trump's health care crisis. Republicans now own this health care crisis. They knew it was coming. We wanted to fix it. Republicans said no, and now it's on them.
It comes as nearly 42 million Americans who rely on SNAP food benefits face growing uncertainty, and as chaos at the nation's airports continue to grow. Experts warn even if the government reopens on Wednesday, it could still take days for air travel to return to normal. The FAA has forced airlines to cancel more than 7,000 flights since Friday because of unpaid air traffic controllers calling out sick. President Trump now threatening to replace the controllers not reporting to work and offer bonuses to those who've stayed on the job.
There was no reimbursement or anything, so I had to pay for a hotel. So yeah, it was madness, craziness.
We just found out this morning that we're stranded here until best case scenario tomorrow.
And as for the thousands of workers furloughed or fired during the shutdown,
Mr. President, that deal does reverse the mass firings your administration put through during the shutdown. Did you sign off on that, and will you abide by that if this passes?
Well, I will be. I'll abide by the deal. The deal is very good.
after keeping the House out of session for weeks, Speaker Mike Johnson is now ordering all members back to Washington, D.C. The earliest the House could vote on this is Wednesday. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Work is moving forward on removing crosswalk murals in downtown Victoria. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting has a look at the perspective of a local state representative who says he's in full agreement with the governor's opinion.
One by one, those crosswalk murals throughout downtown Victoria are disappearing, removing what some members of the state Congress are calling distractions.
I think this is an attempt to try to increase the safety where they can cross the street in a safe manner.
State Representative A.J. Lauterbach agrees with Governor Greg Abbott, looking to clear roadways of these so-called distractions.
I see it clearly as it's a public safety matter.
Abbott said in a statement, not only are they attempting to remove potential hazards, but they are looking to remove political ideology from Texas roadways.
The major thing that we're dealing with in automobiles and driving and in people walking today is a distracted pedestrian. Transmits right over into our distracted driver issue.
Removal of Victoria's crosswalk murals has been underway since Monday, November 3rd. Victoria has said the work would be done in 2 weeks, meaning by the end of this week.
We have far too many pedestrian auto accidents, and those are very those are very serious accidents.
Some residents questioned the removal, saying Victoria's crosswalk art features unique elements of the city and Texas with no political stance. However, these removals will continue to avoid the penalty of losing TxDOT funding.
If you see news happening, let us know. Email us at staff@crossroadstoday.com or call us at the number on your screen. Let us know what you're seeing. And it's now 6:46 on our Tuesday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, a story of honor, neglect, and community effort. Who's stepping up to care for those who served? It's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Johnny. Happy 14th birthday. Mom, Popo, Grammy, Michael, and the whole family wish you a happy birthday. May God continue to bless you abundantly. We love you so much. Keep reaching for the stars.
That's right. Happy birthday, Johnny. And also happy birthday to Mary Ann. Happy birthday, sister. Hope you have a blessed day today. Lots of love from your little sister.
Happy birthday to Roll. Happy birthday. Let's hope for no wildfires today and lots of cake.
Definitely no wildfires, and happy birthday, Roll. And also happy birthday to Melissa. Happy birthday, beautiful. Have a wonderful day today. Lots of love from Jim, Leah, James, Mom, Dad, and Wayne.
And happy birthday to Leonardo DiCaprio, the former teen heartthrob and Oscar-winning actor, is 51.
Ooh, happy birthday, Leo. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
Okay, it is now 6:48 on our Tuesday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
That's right, happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw the 7-day forecast a few moments ago, and you probably saw what I was talking about, how we're going to be warming up for the rest of this week. So if you're just like me and you don't like the coldness that's like out there right now, that's exactly why I'm inside. I want to keep nice and warm out there. I've actually got like 4 layers of clothes underneath this, and you probably can't even tell because it looks like my normal self. But for the rest of this week, weather will be looking much more nicer, at least in my opinion. Highs will be back in the 80s. Highs will be back in the 70s for just today. And low temperatures will also be nicer, back in the 50s and mainly for the 60s for the rest of this week. That's thanks to the winds you can see right here. Starting today, they're back out of the south, no longer out of the north. And that's going to be with us the entire week. That'll warm us up. And also, as we go to this weekend, these southerly winds coming out of the Gulf will provide us with moisture to work with for rain chances. And also, of course, some moderate afternoon humidity, which is not a good thing. But today, humidity is actually going to stay slightly dry, especially for our northern counties. That's why we have a red flag warning still in effect for DeWitt, Lavaca, Gonzales, and Karnes County, and all the way up towards San Antonio. And not just that, we still have burn bans in effect for 11 out of 13 Crossroads counties. So make sure we're still not burning anything, even with the humidity starting to ramp up for the rest of this week. Now, make sure we're not burning anything until the burn ban is lifted, to which we have a little bit of hope of that, just a wee bit, going into this weekend and next week, because we are tracking a new low pressure system you can see right there, splitting off of another one in the Pacific. That'll march over the mountains going into this weekend and early next week, bringing us our rain chances to a nice 30-40% for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And we'll look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
On Veterans Day, we pay tribute to all who served our country. Veteran journalist Bill Clough uncovers a local cemetery where those veterans seem to have been forgotten.
Lots of flags flying today. Lots of people saying, lest we forget. But in more than 20 cemeteries in the city and the county are the graves of veterans mostly unseen. Such as this one. There are more than 60 graves in there, including soldiers, but you couldn't tell it. That bothers this man.
I'm John Tate, past commander of the American Legion, Post 166 here in Victoria.
The graves are scattered throughout cemeteries in the city and the county, mostly neglected.
The Victoria Veterans Council is composed of all the veterans organizations in Victoria County. One of the things we did was took on the task of cleaning up the cemeteries that had veterans buried in them that no one took care of. Every Saturday we would get together and pick 2 or 3 and go clean them up. We'd pick up all the trash, take care of the underbrush, mow them, clean out around the headstones and reset them. Oh, we got too old, and guys started dying off and retiring, and we just could not do it anymore.
City of Victoria cleaned it up the last time we saw people out here cleaning it up. They pay a contractor to come out and do it.
Except this cemetery isn't in the city. The city only maintains Evergreen Cemetery, and the county, in a written statement,
we didn't want anybody to say thank you or anything else. It's just we owed it to these guys.
Tate says the city and the county should care for the cemeteries. Mowing twice a year is hardly perpetual care. Is there an answer? Maybe not, knowing the logistical and economic pressures on regional governments. There is a unique grave in this cemetery. Charlie Booker served in World War I. WAGR, Wagoneer. Britain shipped more feed to the front than ammunition. Charlie's was an important job. A railroad man, appropriate for a wagoneer. He died in 1979 at the age of 86.
I'm a firm believer that, I get to do what I do every day because of what they do. They pretty much write a blank check for our country. How do you not respect that?
Yet, despite all the flags flying today, some lack that respect, such as Charlie, not quite forgotten this Veterans Day, waiting for a good Samaritan who rarely comes.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A high-profile legal battle is heading to the nation's highest court. President Trump is taking his fight with magazine columnist E. Jean Carroll to the U.S. Supreme Court. On Monday, he asked the High Court to overturn the $5 million civil judgment against him. Last year, a federal appeals court affirmed the jury's verdict that Trump sexually abused and defamed Carroll. His lawyers argue the judge in the trial made a number of errors. President Donald Trump is warning air traffic controllers who don't show up for work could have their pay cut. Controllers are labeled essential workers and have had to keep working without pay during the shutdown. Many, though, have failed to show up for work. The warning came before the Senate passes a spending bill now headed to the House. It looks like we're all eating more chicken. Tyson Foods now expects annual revenues to be up 2 and 4%, beating expectations. The company says sales of chicken are making up for what it says is softness in beef, with customers being pushed away by higher prices. Victoria is ready to honor those who served with its annual Veterans Day Parade. It starts at 10 this morning. Our very own Don Brubaker is the parade's Grand Marshal. You can see Parker and I in the parade as well. After the parade, everyone's invited to gather at the courthouse steps for a special ceremony, complete with banners, wreaths, and tributes to local veterans. Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez will make a presentation at that ceremony. And later this evening at 6 p.m., a special flag retirement ceremony will be held at the Field of Honor on John Stockbauer Drive. It's a moment to honor our nation's symbol of freedom and the brave men and women who have stood at its defense. And now let's get a look at our forecast with Parker. How's it looking, Parker?
I think y'all know how it's looking out there this morning, and if you don't, why don't you step your foot out the door for a second? We're looking live in Victoria. We've got a nice, clear, pretty sunrise out there, but with it is quite chilly out there right now. Starting at 37 right now, but earlier we actually got down to 33 degrees. That was the official reported low as of this morning, but the wind chill, look at that. It is still feeling like freezing out there thanks to winds starting to slowly pick up between 5 to 10 miles an hour out of the east-northeast right now. But we're all seeing wind chills starting out the day near freezing, and all of us seeing temperatures starting out mid, some also in the upper 30s as well. But folks on the coast, y'all are of course warmer because y'all are right next to the warm Gulf water. So I think it's safe to say bundle up if you're headed out the door this morning. Otherwise, you'll take off that jacket later because we're getting up to 74 in Port Lavaca and a bit warmer in Victoria. I'm thinking 75 today. So y'all get out there and enjoy that lovely weather before the rest of this week. We're warming up with highs back in.
Thank y'all for being with us this morning. Join Shana, Don McClovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Make it a great Tuesday.
Happy Veterans Day.